Welcome back to Real Vision Crypto's After the Hype. Reality sets in for NFTs. After setting the stage with Raoul yesterday, we zoom into the technology underlying NFTs. Piers Kicks, a member of the investment team at Bitkraft, welcomes Robbie Ferguson, co-founder of Immutable, as they explore the ever-evolving technology that drives NFTs.
Hey guys, and welcome to day 2 of the Real Vision NFT week. I'm delighted to introduce you all today to Robbie Ferguson of Immutable. Robbie, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here.
Well, could you perhaps start us off just as briefly as possible? Give us a high-level summary of what Immutable is.
Yeah, Immutable is what making the whole world tradable on Ethereum. That's the very high-level summary. To go into slightly more detail, we make infrastructure that allows any company to create or trade NFTs with zero gas costs, Ethereum level security, and be fully carbon neutral while they're doing it. And we allow them to do it super, super quickly. So via APIs in a matter of days.
Awesome. Love it. So could you perhaps give us a bit of color about kind of your background and sort of what led up to this then?
Yeah. So I actually dropped out of university to found Immutable nearly 4 years ago now with my brother. And I suppose the key background and foundational experiences were that, one, growing up, I was obsessed with startups, and two, growing up, I was obsessed with video games. And in fact, I remember when I hopped on my brother's RuneScape account in high school, as I would often do. And one time I went into the wilderness with a full set of, I think he had like a dragon scimitar, some really valuable stuff, like 30 mil gold worth of stuff back then. And I lost it all. I sculled myself, as they call it in the wilderness, and got player killed and lost all his items. And I felt absolutely awful about this, and I didn't want him to find out. So I went online and I bought gold off this website. And the next day, this man appeared in game and gave me all this gold for about, what was it, $40 or whatever. And a week later, all was well. I bought him back all the armor I didn't know. And then a week later, the account was banned. And now, of course, you can actively just buy gold in RuneScape. So I think pretty early on, I realized two things. One, that the stuff in video games was truly valuable. Like, people just find this stuff to be core to their identity and they want to spend money on it. And two, there's absolutely no rules and no guarantees given to any of the players whatsoever. And so I think that was a really interesting experience. I know Vitalik talks about a similar one in starting Ethereum with World of Warcraft spells. And then I think the other key experience is sort of the startup background. So me and my brother made a lot of different companies together. We were making a website where you could bet on your own League of Legends games. We made a competitor to Shopify called ShopYak, which automatically A/B optimized your stores based on pricing. But really, we fell in love with crypto. So we got involved in the crypto space in 2014 and Ethereum in 2015. And I remember the thing that really made me realize that Ethereum was going to be the future was, I think, playing with a really simple application called Ethereum. And it's very, very basic. In fact, I think in this instance, it was literally just like you kind of flip a coin. And if it's heads, you win double your money. And if it's tails, you lose all your money. And there's a small clip for the smart contract. And the reason I thought that, and I'm not a gambler by any means, but the reason I thought this was amazing was, in about 10 lines of smart contract code, we had taken what costs governments hundreds of billions of dollars every year to do, which is ensure compliant payouts, guaranteed the probabilities and fair probabilities of how these casinos get to their odds, and something they could never do, which is disintermediate the casino itself. And so I thought, well, clearly, if you can do this in 10 lines of code, basically everything's going to be run on smart contracts in 2 or 3 decades. So that was, I guess, me falling in love with Ethereum. And then NFTs in particular, I remember in 2017, we saw CryptoPunks come out. And I remember saying to my brother, James, well, this is clearly it, because now we have crypto and everyone, like the value proposition by then was very, very clear and strong, which is you own your own stuff. You can have it be digitally scarce and it's censorship resistant. No one can take it away from you. And where we said, well, but now we can apply this to all items, not just fungible currencies. We can take in-game video items. We can take financial assets which are unique, like term deposits or bonds or insurance contracts. And we thought that the first place that would pop off were utility-based NFTs in games, because about $100 billion is spent every single year on in-game items in video games where players own $0 of it. This isn't the Call of Duty box set. This is the skins in Fortnite, the coins in Candy Crush. And gamers already want to spend money on this stuff, and they're already getting such low value for it that we thought, well, this is clearly where NFTs are going to have the biggest disruption over the next 5 years. Now, it seems as though the art or sort of prestige collectible NFT market has peaked even earlier than that. But I'm also still very bullish in the short term on gaming.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So can you talk to us then a bit about, I guess, the path that led to founding Immutable, sort of the early days? You were messing around with some of the stuff around the Ethereum ecosystem. What were the steps that went from, the early sort of game that you guys spun up to, Gods Unchained, which I'd love for you to give some color on, and then ultimately what your focus is now?
Yeah, of course. So making Immutable was really us sitting down and saying, hey, NFTs are going to be the future. We have to try and build something here. And at the back of our minds as well, we wanted to make sure that whatever took off as the future of NFT infrastructure, we wanted to be as decentralized as possible. There's really no point if you're building this and you're using another database. Go and use Steam Marketplace then. Go and use eBay. But the point is, you're building something on a back end which people can truly self-sovereignly own. And so I guess starting Immutable, as you mentioned, we started off with Etherbots, where we learned a lot, which is basically this fully on-chain first ever multiplayer game on Ethereum. I think it would cost you $6,000 to play a match right now. And then we always wanted to build NFT infrastructure, but back at the start of 2018, no one wanted to use NFTs. And I guess similar to how Steam built the Steam Marketplace off the success of its primary content, and that primary content became a very important sort of beachhead in order to develop it. We wanted to make an awesome showcase of NFT technology that could become massive, and then also use that to leverage into becoming the infrastructure for NFT trading broadly. And so we made Gods Unchained, which is basically a trading card game built on top of Ethereum, where you can truly own your cards. So similar to Magic the Gathering or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh cards in real life, where people can trade them. We've seen this, and this stuff has become huge this year, with Logan Paul wearing a diamond Charizard on his neck to his fight. And basically, we knew that A, there was a massive match between the value proposition of crypto and a trading card game, and B, we'd only raised about $2 million US in our seed round, and you can build a very good trading card game for $2 million US. You can't build a very good shooter multiplayer game for $2 million US. That is a much bigger budget, and obviously we spent much more to date. But that was sort of the motivation to getting started with Gods Unchained, which now has made multiple 8 figures. It's led by Chris Clay, and that team is kind of doubling each year in size. And the goal is ultimately make it a top 3 TCG and help it be a Trojan horse for NFTs by getting this in the hands of, hundreds of millions of players.
Hey, if you like this clip, be sure to like and subscribe for more crypto related content. Also, be sure to check out the full interview and more only on realvision.com/crypto.